All right, everybody. Wanted to give you some tips and show you some ways that you can start editing and creating, beautiful pages and subpages. First of all, it's really important that we talk about how to tweak the design of your, the templates you've chosen. And there's a right way and there's a wrong way. Okay, kind of the wrong way is to click on a text box and immediately start tweaking the font size here and changing the font colors here. Okay, because what all that's doing is changing um, the font size and other options for that particular text box that you've chosen. Okay, the danger in that is when you start highlighting and increasing the font size, it's not going to remain consistent among other text boxes, and it's not going to remain consistent among other pages and subpages. And that's like key to having a good looking website. Okay, you want things to be uniform. Like you want your bands to be uniform. You don't want kids wearing white socks and some wearing black pants and some wearing jeans. You want everybody wearing the same thing for a reason. Same thing with the design process and creation process with your website. So let's go into design here. Okay, simply click on the tab. You've got some preloaded colors that come with your template already. Okay, if you decide, in 4 weeks that you don't want this particular template you first chose, hey, pick a different one here. You have all kinds of options here. They even have, they let you sort them by what the most popular one is or what the color. You can sort them all by red ones, or you can select them. I want all the fun ones. Okay, so make sure you're picking the right template, and if you decide you don't like it, the great thing is you can change it. Okay, but more importantly is changing these fonts. Okay, and this is the correct way to go through and adjust all your font sizes and the actual kinds of fonts. Okay, you guys are going to be reading an article about some good design habits, and one of those is that you don't want a website that has more than 2 or 3 different types of fonts. Okay, and the reason why is because it's going to look cluttered, it's going to look disorganized. It's not going to look real professional, and we want things to look clean and slick and professional. So the way to do this is to tweak all those things here in this area. So site title, okay, you're only going to have one of those, so this really isn't a huge deal, but this is how you go in and change the font and the weight and the color of that. Okay, if we go back here to other things that are going to be on your landing page, like the navigation menu. Okay, you want all your pages to be a certain font, you want them to be a certain color. That's where you do it as well. Okay, and then headlines and subheadlines too. Okay, a little more importantly, things that are going to appear across multiple pages would be your paragraph titles and your paragraph text, because when you go over here and you're grabbing your title, okay, to create something, you want these to be uniform. Okay, now there's going to be instances where, hey, you want something to stand out and you want to make it bigger, and that's totally fine too. But generally everything's going to look about the same size. Okay, so if you want these two text boxes, if you want their text to be uniform with each other, okay, and then you want them to be uniform on another page, the way you do it is we go into fonts here and we click on paragraph titles, and we want them all to be 36, or maybe we want them all to be 40, okay, or maybe we want them even smaller, and you can even select it and type it in as well. Okay, but this is how you make things uniform. Okay, some things that past students have struggled with, if they went into and tweaked all the different font sizes in the build mode here, okay, you're going to get, they got really frustrated and things didn't appear uniform. Okay, and I don't want you guys to make that same mistake. I want you guys to adjust those things the right way under here. Okay, same thing with paragraph text. Okay, this is where you adjust all the sizes, okay, and the color and the weight. Okay, and you can also do that with the links. You can change the color that you want to appear for your hyperlinks. Any buttons that you'd appear, you can change how big that button is. Okay, so one of the great things about Weebly is it lets you get into the details and lets you customize those things as well. Okay, All right, so let's go back to the design options page. Social icons, if you have like a Facebook page for your music groups, or maybe you have a Twitter account that you use, this is the way to enable those. Okay, and they'll appear. You can link it up directly with that. Okay, and then I don't know if there's anybody in this class that already maybe knows some HTML. This is where you would go in and tweak that. If you know nothing about this though, I would not touch this button at all, because you could really mess up your site by going in and changing these things. Okay, so it's really nothing that's a super advanced thing. You don't need to really worry about that. Okay, so let's go back to builds here, and I want to talk to you guys about creating columns and using dividers and how to do that, because you're going to be getting into that this week. Okay, so right now I have two title boxes. Okay, and simply when you drag it over and release, okay, it's going to look like click here to edit. Okay, and actually let me show you how I did that. Okay, so right now I just have my one title box here, but I want to create another one, and I want it to appear right next to this. And you can see right now that this text box is appearing across my whole page here. All right, but I want to put this now next to it. So I simply left click and drag it over, and a blue line appeared. If I let go right here, it's going to put that below. Okay, now I don't want it here, so I simply just grab this rectangle here, left click and hold and drag it over, and I want it to appear here. See where that blue line appears? Okay, if I release now, it just created two columns. Okay, and let's just call this, I don't know, maybe how about fundraisers? Okay, I can put some fundraiser information on here. Okay, and if you hit enter, it'll bump it down to a second line if you want to continue more. I don't want that though, so I'm just going to hit backspace and then click out of this. Okay, so now I have two side-by-side title boxes. Okay, another really cool, super easy function about Weebly is that you can simply click this column here and left click and hold, and you can drag it. Okay, now you notice the little menu popped up in that bottom right that says hold shift to disable snapping. Yeah, snapping is kind of a pain. Snapping is where it jumps like in 1-inch increments. Okay, and when you guys get into the details, you want this to move smooth. So hold the shift key down and it'll move nice and smooth for you. So release it. We're going to keep it right there. Okay. Now let's say I want to list my upcoming concerts. Well, that would be a great thing for a text box. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drop it over. Now if I let go right here, it's going to create 3 columns and it's going to put that next to it. I don't want that. Okay. I want that blue line to appear and put it underneath my upcoming concerts. Okay, but you can see that it's taking up the entire width of my page here. I don't want that to happen. I want it just to appear under my upcoming concerts. So I'm simply going to grab this and boom, you see what happened? Oh, I just lost it. There it is. So now once I see that blue column line, if I release it, it's only going to put up. I didn't want that. I wanted, let's try that again here. Let's grab our title box here, and I just want it to appear. There we go. See how it's a shorter blue line. Now if I release, it's going to put it underneath my upcoming concerts. And let's do the same for fundraisers. Grab a text box, go over here. I want the short blue, horizontal blue line. Bingo, release. Okay, there we go. So now I can put them on here. Okay, so we're going to have a butter braid sale. And we're also going to have a Christmas tree sale. Okay, bingo. Okay, and for this particular template, fonts for text boxes are going to be light gray. Okay, and again, you can change this here. Okay, but on this page, you probably want, and other pages, you want all that text to be uniform. Okay, so this is not the way to go in and to pick your font color. Okay, if you want to just make one thing a different color, like maybe you want to make Christmas tree sale red and green. Okay, this would be an appropriate way to do it. Go in here and change this to red. Okay, boom, and then go in here and change this to green. Okay, that would be a great way great use of the fonts tools here. Okay, and then let's go over here, upcoming concerts. Let's say we have one March 18th, and that's in the gymnasium. And then the next one is going to be May 22nd, and that's going to be in the high school auditorium. Okay, and then the great thing is you can keep adding text boxes underneath here. Okay, now let's say you don't want one underneath upcoming concerts or fundraisers. Let's say you want a big text box. Okay, so then you would simply go down a little bit more, and then once that blue line shows the entire width of your site, you let go, and then it's not going to include it as part of the columns. Okay, a couple other options that you have here. Let's say we'll keep this here, and we'll make another title here. Okay, but you can see how close this is. Okay, and if you're creating a new title header, you might want some space there. And the way to do that is to go down here to your structure, and you can do a couple of things. You can include a divider here. Okay, and I simply want that blue line there. Let go, and I have a divider here. Okay, and that gives it some space, but it also gives it a light gray line, which is, could be kind of cool depending on your template. Okay, but let's say you don't want that line. Okay, you can have a spacer put in. Okay, and I'm going to do the same way. There's that half blue line. Let go. Okay, and now I just created some space. And the cool thing is, if you click on that thicker small blue line, you can drag it and you can create any amount of space that you want. So that can be a real useful tool for your pages as well. Okay, and there's nothing in there right now. I can't put anything else there right now. Okay, if you want a button, okay, these things can be really useful for if you want, maybe you have a contact person that's going to be organizing your fundraisers here. You can put their email in here. So link, okay, it's going to be an email address. Okay, you would enter it in there, and that would be the contact person for your fundraisers. Okay, and if you want to adjust the text, simply click on it here. All right, and you can just type away. All right, and there you go. Okay, so that should get you started with creating some of your pages and subpages. Okay, pictures, images right here, same thing, just drag and drop. Okay. All right, and then to add it, you simply click on it where it says upload image, and you can upload them from your computer, or you can search for them. Okay, Weebly does have a database of some stock images that you can search for, like maybe we could search for trumpet. And okay, professional photos, you got to pay $5 each for them, and they also have some free options here. Okay, and you're welcome to use these. These are already royalty free, so that they're not copyrighted. They're free to use here, so you may find something useful in there for you. Okay, have some fun with it, and if you have any questions about specific things with how some of these tools work, feel free to message me or just post a post on the discussion page. And I will get back to you, or maybe somebody else in the group knows. All right, good luck.